4D chess. It's what they always say about Trump when he seemingly does something wrong, but then eventually it works out. And the idea is that he's planned this so far in advance that it's actually all a part of his plan. I don't know if I believe that. I certainly think sometimes the man is strategic, and I think you'd be a fool to underestimate him. A lot of people, I hear this all the time on the left that they say he's an idiot. You hear a lot of people on the right saying he's a genius, and I'm like, look, the guy's a dude. Okay, he's a person. He's been successful, and he has a plan. He doesn't have to be the smartest person in the world. He could be of average intelligence, and sometimes he's going to do things on purpose. We don't know what those things are, and sometimes he makes mistakes. Did he say Kafifi on purpose? I don't know. I don't think so, but I will say this. Oftentimes when he tweets, it distracts the media from some other story, allowing him to kind of pass, to pull some action off without scrutiny. And this has been highlighted by many people, even in the media, that he's basically playing them like puppets. Now, I'll say this. In the 2016 election, Trump got, $5 billion worth of free press? So I'd have to imagine that to a certain extent, he does these things on purpose. Now, to the story. From the Hill, Trump doubles down after telling Democratic congresswomen to go back to their countries. There's a lot to break down. For one, I got ratioed hard. I lost 200 followers when I criticized Trump over this tweet because I thought it was just a bad tweet. Okay, it was stupid. But here's the thing. It may have just accidentally or on purpose, it worked out for him. And so now I'm hearing from Trump supporters, you don't understand, this is on purpose, and there literally is a good reason why. So when I saw, I made two videos. I talked about Trump's tweet, and I talked about an internal Democrat poll showing that Ocasio-Cortez, I'll just pull it up, is really, really bad for the Democrats. And Styx Hexenhammer, if you're not familiar, he's a YouTuber, commented, I think it was on this video where he said, and this is why Trump just made that tweet. So here's the thing. Trump puts out this, actually, before we get into how this all plays together and whether or not, look, let me say this, whether or not it was on purpose, I think in the end, this will greatly benefit Trump and the Republicans. Whether you don't like him, the left already thinks he's racist, the right likes him no matter what. So there's a good reason to believe that it was intentional. But before we get into all that, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, and a physical address. But of course, you can just share this video if you think it's worth people hearing, because YouTube doesn't suggest my videos the same way they used to. They still sometimes, but I rely on you for word of mouth. So here's the thing. I will read through some of how he responded. Trump tweeted out that you've got these progressive congresswomen who should go back to their home countries are failing. They should go back, fix it, and then come back here and tell us how it went or whatever, and show us how it's done. And he was criticized heavily, even by me, because the congresswomen he's referring to, 3 of them were born in America. Ilhan Omar is from Somalia, so it could just be that he didn't know that he made a mistake. Fine, whatever. But here's the thing. For the longest time, for the past several weeks, the Democrats have been fighting, and Nancy Pelosi has been slamming Ocasio-Cortez. To the average voter, this shows that the Democratic Party is resisting the far left, something I liked, something I've praised repeatedly in videos, yes, finally, the Democrats pushing back against these wackos. And then all of a sudden, Trump comes out and he makes this really bad tweet. I think it's bad. You can like it, whatever. I think it was a bad tweet. I think it was stupid. But here's the thing. In this poll, we can see that people really, really detest Ocasio-Cortez. And that means the Democrats are pushing back against her. People are going to like Nancy Pelosi. When Trump tweeted, Pelosi immediately came out in defense of Ocasio-Cortez calling Trump a racist, and Trump then forced Pelosi and AOC back into the same camp. Immediately, we then see, the global editor, the opinion editor of the Washington Post say, Nancy Pelosi's enabling Trump. And I have no idea what's going on. It's all weird. But here's what I'll say. In this poll we saw, what is it? We say Ocasio-Cortez is recognized by 74% of voters, but only 22% had a favorable view. What Trump just did was make Nancy Pelosi defend Ocasio-Cortez so that she and Ocasio-Cortez are one in the same. They're one group. I'm not saying it was intentional. I am not making a 4D chess argument. A lot of people are. I think it's silly to assume Trump is always on point with strategy. I guess if you're a Trump supporter, then you'll probably believe he's doing this stuff on purpose, and it makes sense. Because he's even doubled down now. In the end, swing voters who aren't paying attention will just see the Democrats unified around Ocasio-Cortez and be like, we really don't like her. The Democrats are bad. If Pelosi and the more moderate Democrats were pushing back on Ocasio-Cortez, they'd be like, good, I like this. They're fighting back, but now they're unified. So whether or not you think Trump did it on purpose, I think relies on whether or not you support or oppose him. Now, here's the thing. When Trump puts out this tweet, I criticized it on Twitter. I lost a couple hundred followers. Look, whatever, man. I don't care. I'm going to post out I'm going to tweet what I think. If you don't want to follow me, don't follow me. I don't care. Don't watch my videos, whatever. It is what it is. But you can see from that, Trump supporters don't care. They don't care. In fact, most of the responses were people saying, I agree with the president. And it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, but you recognize these women are from America, right? They were born in like Michigan and Ohio. It's one woman who wasn't from here. But I understand the sentiment about people whose countries are collapsing, so they leave, and it makes the country worse, right? You got to think about how much it costs to fly from Congo to Angola. They're traveling from Congo to Angola, flying to Brazil. It's going to cost thousands of dollars to get your family across, and then traveling all the way up. That's a lot of money. And so this is something that's akin to what they call the brain drain, when the people of means flee the country instead of putting the money back into the economy. It's bad for the economy. So I understand that sentiment, right? I just think Trump was being crass and crude, but then it was brought up to me because I did a video on this and a video on that. Dude, this is going to work out really well for Republicans. I think I'm like, yeah, that's true, right? In the end, you are going to force swing voters to view Nancy Pelosi and AOC as one and the same, as one group, as cohorts. Well, Trump doubled down, so let's see what he said. President Trump on Sunday night doubled down amid a growing backlash over his earlier tweets telling a group of Democratic congresswomen that they should go back to the countries that they came from. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, but that's what they're saying. So sad to see the Democrats sticking up for people who speak so badly of our country and who, in addition, hate Israel with a true and unbridled passion. Whenever confronted, they call their adversaries, including Nancy Pelosi, racist, Trump said in a pair of tweets. Their disgusting language and the many terrible things they say about the United States must not be allowed to go unchallenged. If the Democrat Party wants to continue to condone such disgraceful behavior, then we look even more forward to seeing you at the ballot box in 2020. And that's the tweet following up that I think, wow, I mean, maybe he tweeted this on purpose. Maybe, it's like I was saying, Trump can distract the media and change the narrative, and he's an expert at controlling the narrative. And this also comes into something I've talked about before, about counterintuitive solutions. How do you make sure that the Democrat Party, I'm quoting Trump, condones disgraceful behavior when the leader of the party in the House, at least one of the most prominent members, is pushing back against the worst behavior? You make her defend it and point at you. See what he says? They call everyone racist. Now Trump has put out this tweet, been smeared, and then used that smear to show you how they're all unified. So basically, you have Ocasio-Cortez attacking Nancy Pelosi, insinuating she's racist, and Trump wants to make sure the ire is directed at him so that he can point the Democrats as being unreasonable. And then when Nancy Pelosi came out and called Trump racist, he got it. So again, you know what? We could sit here all day and believe that Trump is some idiot savant and he's slipping on he slips on a banana peel but accidentally does a backflip and lands perfectly. Or we can say that maybe he thought about how to shift the narrative because he's consistently done it really, really well. I think the 4D chess thing is a silly argument, right? I understand the sentiment. It's not like he's literally got this crazy map of what's going on, but it's not hard to see that Trump knows what he's doing when it comes to making the press believe what he wants. And that's one of his strengths in the 2016 election, how he was able to win. Just controversy after controversy. And one of the points that I've heard a lot is that when you had what Trump was doing to the other candidates, he was saying, Lion Ted, what does he call him? Sleepy Joe. Is he Sleepy Joe? I don't know. He's got, low energy. He finds a fault and he targets it and he brands you with it. But Trump had so many controversies, there was not one thing you can brand him with. And that made it hard. So I think of it like this. You have a balloon, right? And one needle. That needle is that branding, that negative branding to smear someone, and it pops the balloon. But what if you have a stack of needles? The balloon will just bounce on it and bounce away because the force is being broken up over a larger surface, and the needles won't have the force to pop the balloon. It's like a science experiment they would do in grade school where they have like a bed of nails and the balloons would sit on it with no problem, but a single nail would pop it. Trump has had so many gaffes in 2016, so many controversies. Voters just, none of them sank. Like none of them went, and worked. So now we can see, I think I feel like I've made the point, the left hates Trump no matter what. Like Trump could tweet something like he did. I'll criticize. There were other Republicans too. This is the funny thing. Like, Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire criticized him. Carol Roth, I don't know if she's Republican, I don't know. But there were more like conservative figures who criticized him, and they were moderate, and many like a lot of people criticized the tweet. But I don't think, I think when it comes to what Trump was doing and why he was doing it, we could say, yeah, like I mentioned, he slept in a banana peel and did a backflip, which sounds absurd. Like, whoa, wow, good for him. He accidentally just benefited himself. Or he knew that he needs to make sure the Democrats are unified around Ocasio-Cortez. So I'll stress. In swing states, in this poll, they show that Ocasio-Cortez is one of the most recognizable faces. They say she's a definitional face for the party with a crucial group of swing voters. Trump wants to make sure she remains defended front and center. That way, moderate people will look at her and be like, she's nuts. Because the other thing, too, is they really hate socialism. Socialism is toxic to these voters. So I guess the question is, Trump and a gaffe tweet, I say it's a gaffe because the women are from America, slammed by the left as racist once again, which many people probably have brushed off at this point, like, oh, I heard that before, versus overt socialism. And I think it's fair to point out Trump's social media strategy has been pretty effective. So whether or not you think it's 4D chess, I don't know, I'll leave that up to you, but I find the whole thing interesting. And I kind of, there's other stories to do, but I kind of had to do like a follow-up because, like I mentioned, I did a video on each of these subjects and didn't realize kind of, putting two and two together. But I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Comment below. The next segment will be at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.